So, news from the pits regarding Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth. They've been working hard in that break. They're trying to get the engine from the Speedway machine out and put that into the Grasstrack machine. Now, obviously, that's no mean feat, so they've been working hard to try and get that done. They didn't quite get it done for that third ride. That's why they appeared with Steph Blythe's machine, and they're hoping for the fourth leg to have their Speedway engine in their Grasstrack bike. So absolute frantic work going on with Mark Cossar. He'll have to hope that that fourth place won't have cost him a top six place. He's of course had a win in a second, but real drama in that Mark Cossar camp. So, race 19, and we've got Kieran Hicks and Kieron Ivy coming out of gate 6 in this one. They won their last ride, of course. The pace go up, and I can see that Colin Blackbourn and Carl Pugh have made a fabulous start from the middle of the track, and they lead going into this first turn. Rob Wilson and Terry Saunters close in going into that turn, take a wide line to try and come round the outside of Colin Blackbourn, but Colin Blackbourn holds the inside line. He leads coming across the finish line. Rob Wilson's got himself into that second, and Matt Fumarola tucks his way in third. So Rob Wilson, he looks quick in that second place. Has he got an answer to Colin Blackbourn, who looks very fast in this one? So Rob Wilson and Terry Saunters riding tight on that first turn. They really had to stop the machine in the middle of the corner to block Matt Fumarola. Kieran Hicks back in fourth at this time, followed by fellow Cornishman Joe Sturtridge and Sean Hoskins at the front. Colin Blackbourn, Carl Pugh. They've only had a second and a third so far. This is the first time they've got themselves to the front. They've been desperate for points and desperate for a win. They go into the last lap. Rob Wilson's now wound his machine up. He's drove into that banking quite wide, and Matt Fumarola's come up the inside. He's getting very close to that second, so Wilson in chasing Colin Blackbourn. He's allowed Matt Fumarola to come up the inside of him. Now Fumarola switches on, tries to go round the outside. He's not got enough there, and it's a win for Colin Blackbourn and Carl Pugh. Rob Wilson and Terry Saunters second, Matt Fumarola and Gareth Williams third, Kieran Hicks fourth, Joe Sturtridge fifth, and John Hiscock and Terry Madley sixth place. So, race 19, the second heat of the third leg of sidecars. It was a win and his first win of the afternoon. Number 25, Colin Blackbourn and Carl Pugh. Second place, number 24, Rob Wilson and Terry Saunters. Third place, number 15, Matt Fumarola and Gareth Williams. Fourth place, number 78, Kieran Hicks and Kieron Ivy. Fifth place, number 13, Joe Sturtridge and Sean Hoskins. And in sixth place, number 184, John Hiscock and Terry Madley. The winner's time, exactly the same as race 18, 1 minute 18, and the speed, 53.77. Those numbers again, 25, 24, 15, 78, 13, and 184. And race number 20, change of passenger for Will Offen. Steve Hargreaves, it's an injured knee, we've been told. He's injured his knee, so Jason Farwell takes over on the back of Will Offen. Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown come to the line this time. 2 wins out of 2 so far for them. They are in good form and defending their British Masters title valiantly at the moment. They're also going in this race 20, Rob Bradley and Darren Wilce. They had a second last time out. They looked a lot quicker in that second leg. And Miles Simmons and Robbie Simmons, they led their second race right up till the last lap. There's a few crews this time going well, and there's also crews desperate for points. George Penfold and Bradley Steer, they will be desperate for points this time around, as will Will Offen and Jason Farwell, who have been, Will of course with Steve Hargreaves has been making some fantastic starts. problems on the start for Miles and Robbie Simmons. They're rolling on the start. Heads up and away they go then. It's Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown who leap out the start. And they do go up that straight as but in this first corner it is Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown who lead. Rob Bradley and Darren Wilce have come up the inside of George Penfold, who's completely overshot that corner. Mick Stace has even come past. Going into this turn, they get very close in the middle of that corner. Problems for Mick Stace, as I say, that smoke comes out the back of that machine. Real here as Mick Stace comes to a stop as well. But while all that's going on at the front, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown, where they've been for most of the afternoon at the front. Miles Simmons and Robbie Simmons, problems at the beginning of that race. They've got themselves into fourth at the moment. Will have got going again. So Winterburn and Brown for the third time this afternoon take the last lap flag. Rob Bradley and Darren Wilce having another good second place, but they are being hounded by George Penfold and Bradley Steer for that second. We know how much power that machine of Penfold on the back straight here to Rob Bradley, but he's not quite got enough speed. But at the front, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown, they take their third win of the afternoon. Rob Bradley and Darren Wilce do hold on to that second with George Penfold in third, Miles Simmons fourth, and after that troublesome start, Will Hoffman and Jason Farwell finished fifth. So race number 20, that completes the third leg of sidecar heats. It was a win and a third win of the afternoon for number 49, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown. Second place, number 87, Rob Bradley and Darren Wilce. Third place, number 124, George Penfold and Bradley Steer. Fourth place, number 9, Miles and Robbie Simmons. And fifth place, number 80, Will Hoffman and Jason Farwell. The winner's time, 1 minute 17, 1 minute 17, and that's a speed of 54.47. Those numbers again, 49, 87, 124, 9 and 80. So that concludes the third leg of rides for both the solos and the sidecars in this British Masters. It's getting very close at the top of the points charts now. We've got the left-hand sidecars coming to the line, race 21 for the third leg of the left-hand sidecars. So we've seen some good battles in the left-hand sidecars so far. Of course, Rob Heath and Kyle Fish snatching victory from Alex Baumann and Mark Hopkins right on the last bend in the last heat. And then the first heat, Tommy Penfold and Terry Draper really dominated the race and then were nowhere in the second race. So really wide open in this left-hand sidecar support class at the moment. Left-hand sidecar race, and Tommy Penfold, number 96, did what he did in the first race. He's made a fantastic start. He's led into that first turn, and Alex Baumann and Mark Hopkins have got into that second race. So I can see that we've got no Tom Penfold, number 5 in this one. I know that he had problems early on in the day, so we've got our reserves, Jay Sullivan and Stephen Holland at the back, number 67. But at the front, we've got Tommy Penfold being chased hard by Alex Baumann at the moment. Alex Baumann and Mark Hopkins. Once again, Rob Heath and Kyle Fish having to work hard to try and find a way past Alex Baumann. He spent most of his afternoon just trying to find ways past Alex Baumann. He's gone tight this time for that second place. Baumann is definitely quicker into this box. Back straight, and at the moment that's so then, last lap flag then, Tommy Penfold and Terry Draper at the moment looking very good for this third heat. everybody spread out a little bit more, but it's going to be a second win of the afternoon for Tommy Penfold and Terry Draper. Alex Bauman and Mark Hopkins this time hold off Rob Heath and Kyle Fish. John Morris and Dan Woodbridge fourth. Jay Sullivan and Stephen Holland come through for fifth, and Billy Penfold and Josh Penfold sixth. So the results of race 21, the leg 3 of the left-hand sidecars. It was a win for number 96, Tommy Penfold and Terry Draper. Second place, number 7, Alex Bauman and Mark Hopkins. Third place, number 18, Rob Heath and Kyle Fish. Fourth, number 16, John Morris and Dan Woodbridge. Fifth place, our reserves coming in there, number 67, Jay Sullivan and Stephen Holland. And sixth place, number 125, Billy Penfold and Josh Penfold. The winner's time, 1 minute 44, and the speed, 45.60. Those numbers again, 96, 7, 18, 16, 67 and 125. And I realise I've mixed up a couple of passenger names. Jay Sullivan is passenger by Stephen Bickley. Stephen Bickley, not Stephen Holland. I think I'm mixing them up with another passenger. So Jay Sullivan and Stephen Bickley getting a ride there and getting a fifth place. So as we have the first of our Masters solos for leg 4 coming to the line, I can tell you that after 3 legs at the moment in first place is James Shanes on 27 points. And the top 8 at the moment is second Edward Kennett, third is Paul Hurry, fourth at the moment is Zach Wajknecht, fifth at the moment tied is Tom Perry and Paul Cooper. In seventh tied at the moment is James Wright and Charlie Powell, so those riders at the moment are in that top 8. In ninth at the moment, just on the bubble, is Tony Atkin, and 10th is Stephen Green. But of course, these last set of heats are all important, and this will be the last chance the riders get to get into the top 16, to get into the semi-finals, so that they can progress further in this Masters. So we look like we've got a bit of a depleted field in this one. Only 5 solos look like they've come to the line, and one of them I can see is Aaron Butcher, number 20. So our reserve has come to the line, and he looks like he's in gate 7. So he'll be replacing Jamie Fenn-Smith. We know that Tim Nobes is injured, so Tim Nobes won't be going in this one. I can't see Andrew Appleton either in this one. So it looks like we've got the 5 runners for this one. But now I can, as I say that, I can see there is a rider coming to the line. That looks like Stephen Green, but Stephen Green is in race 23, so I'm not sure why he's gone in this race. I think that the pit controller there telling him he's in the wrong race. He's definitely supposed to be in race 23, not race 22, so if anyone in the middle can hear us, you might want to put the red flag up, because he has come out in the wrong race. So quickly Stephen realises that he's come out for the wrong race, and he's gone back to the pit, so we are left with these 5 riders. James Wright, in this one of course he had a good ride in his last race, and it is James Wright who makes an excellent start, closely followed by Andrew Whitaker. But as they go into that first turn, it is number 69, James Wright, who leads. Martin Sturgeon has got himself into that second turn, another big ride. And he flies into that top turn, Martin Sturgeon, and comes right round the outside. He's going to try and come right round the outside of James Wright, but Wright plenty quick enough up the inside. Andrew Whitaker having a good third place, and our reserve, Aaron Butcher, in that fourth. So then, that's the front. Certainly come on strong at the later part of this season. Led Paul Hurry for a while in that last race, but didn't have enough to beat him. Desperately wants a win to make sure he is in amongst the top 16 going into the semi-final stage. So as the last lap flag is ready, I can see that Andrew Whitaker in that third place is not letting up on Martin Sturgeon. Sturgeon's having to keep riding very quick to keep Whitaker at bay. He's trying to plug away on the inside, and now he's switched to the outside. Whitaker, he's trying to go round the outside of Sturgeon, but Sturgeon runs wide. Whitaker comes right round the outside. Now Andrew Whitaker holds that second place, so a good ride by the Yorkshireman in that second place. But while all that's going on, number 69 James Wright, he makes no mistake. He has a look behind him, he sees that Whitaker's a lot closer than I think he thought he was there. It was very close I think he started to shut off, but James Wright wins. So the results of that race number 22, it was a win for number 69, James Wright. Second place, number 17, Andrew Whitaker. Third place, number 15, Martin Sturgeon. Fourth place, number 20, Aaron Butcher. And fifth place, number 82, Ben Ilsley. The winner's time, 1 minute 26, 1 minute 26, and the speed, 55.14. Those numbers again, 69, 17, 15, 20, and 82. So, race number 23, coming out to the line. In this one, of course, we've got no Ben Barker, replaced by Charlie Powell, number 92. And Charlie's been going very well this afternoon. At the moment, of course, Charlie is lying in joint 7th overall. But, coming out of gate 2, who can stop James Shanes? He's won 3 races so far. He looks very fast this afternoon. Can anyone stop James Shanes? He's got the defending champion, Zach Wajknecht, to contend with in this one. So can Zach do anything about James Shanes, who at the moment is running on with Zach's championship? So away we go, and there's a little lift for James Shanes, which means that Paul Cooper has just nosed in front going into that turn, but Shanes comes up the inside of him going into that turn, and he leads before the corner's finished, so James Shanes in front. Stephen Green comes through into that 4th place going round Callum Walker, but at the front it is James Shanes, number 93 once again, got himself to the front. Paul Cooper's got no answer to him at the moment. And Zach Wajknecht this time finds himself in 3rd place. So James Shanes, number 93, leading the way as they come past us. Paul Cooper still in that 2nd place. Very impressive this afternoon. He takes the last lap flag with Paul Cooper in that 2nd place. None of these 3 riders can catch each other at the moment. A little battle going on for that 6th place. Tony Atkins comes hard. Wants to stop the machine in that turn. But the 2nd place, the 4th win for number 93, James. Paul Cooper comes home 2nd. 3rd place, Zach Wajknecht. 4th place, Stephen Green. Close for this 5th place, it's just about Tony Atkin, Callum Walker 6th, Stuart Mears 7th, and Charlie Powell sadly pulling out in the early stages of that race. So the 2nd heat of the 4th leg of the 500 solos, race 23. A 4th win for number 93, James Shanes. 2nd place, number 11, Paul Cooper. 3rd place, number 109, Zach Wajknecht. 4th place, number 66, Stephen Green. 5th place, number 10, Tony Atkin. 6th place, number 47, Callum Walker. And 7th place, number 41, Stuart Mears. The winner's time, 1 minute 21. 1 minute 21, and the speed 58.55. 58.55. So once again, those numbers 93, 11, 109, 66, 10, 47, and 41. So once again, James Shanes clocking a much quicker time than the previous race. Coming to the line in this one at the moment, Edward Kennett, currently 2nd, number 6. Drop points in that last leg to James Shanes. I think James is the only rider to have beaten Kennett so far. What could Kennett have changed on setup to try and close that gap between himself and James Shanes? So away we go on this race 24 and into the first turn. They get a tight first turn, but it's Edward Kennett that just about leads. Paul Hurry's coming right round the outside. After Edward Kennett going into that turn, he's going to be able to get the machine stopped and turned. Yes, he is. A brilliant move by Paul Hurry. A fantastic move around that banking to get himself in front of Edward Kennett. Mark Baseby is in that third place, having a much better ride this time, with Daniel Winterburn fourth. Up the hill and past him in the middle of the corner. Paul Hurry looking very, very quick now. Tom Perry's now starting to work his way through. He's found himself down the order, but he's just moved into fourth place. Somebody's lost the field. I think that was Tom Perry as they come past us. So Chris Harris once again, problems for Chris Harris. He pulls into the centre green as Paul Hurry takes the last lap flag. Tom Perry's now moved his way into third, so if he has lost that steel shoe, it's not doing him much harm. It might actually be Mark Baseby, looking at the way that he's riding. One of those riders is... But in the meantime, at the front, number 86, Paul Hurry, a fantastic ride by him to overcome Edward Kennett. Kennett comes home in second, Tom Perry fights hard for that third place, Mark Baseby fourth, Daniel Winterburn fifth, Ryan Ashcroft sixth, Liam Ashcroft seventh, and no finish for Chris Harris. So, race 24 results, the 500 solos, leg 4, heat 3. It was a win for number 86, Paul Hurry. Second place, number 6, Edward Kennett. And third place, number 1, Tom Perry. Fourth, number 44, Mark Baseby. Fifth place, number 12, Daniel Winterburn. Sixth place, number 45, Ryan Ashcroft. And in seventh place, number 83, Liam Ashcroft. The winner's time, 1 minute 25. 1 minute 25, and that's a speed of 55.79. Those numbers again, 86, 6, 1, 44, 12, 45, and 83. And I can see that that was indeed Mark Baseby's steel shoe because he's come to collect it in front of us here. So most of you will be aware that the solo riders, they ride on their left foot, they ride with a steel sliding plate, I guess, on their boot, both on Speedway and Grasstrack, and when it's removed from the boot it makes it really difficult to balance the machine. They use their left leg to balance the machine on the corners, and when they remove that steel shoe it creates a lot of vibration through their leg and makes it quite tricky to ride. So Mark Baseby to come home in fourth there, having shed the steel shoe. A real achievement. So that completes the 500cc solos heats, the qualifying heats for us. And now we turn to the leg 4 of the 1000cc Sidecar Masters. And of course at the moment leading everybody on 21 points, 3 wins out of 3 is number 49 Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown. Everything's going to plan in his defence of his title right now. Paul Whitelam and Elliott have been very impressive this afternoon. They are in second at the moment on 19 points. And then 2 outfits tied for third at the moment, Colin Blackbourn and Pugh, and Gareth Winterburn and Billy Winterburn. Mark Cossar and Blyth, after all their drama, are still lying 5th at the moment, and Rob Wilson and Saunters at the moment are in 6th place. 2 outfits tied for 7th at the moment, Kieran Hicks and Kieron Ivy, and Rob Bradley and Darren Wilce. But there really aren't many points in it, so these heats are incredibly important to all of these riders. So then in this race, of course, race 25, there's no Neil Owen and Jason Farwell. Instead, it is 68, Dan Berwick and Josh Russell. And Will Offen, of course, is passengered by Jason Farwell. And Rod Winterburn is passengered by Billy Winterburn. So a few chops and changes going on in this heat 25. go up on this race 25, and it's a fantastic start by Kieron Hicks and Kieron Ivy who lead into that first turn. So Kieron Hicks and Ivy lead. Gareth Winterburn and Billy Winterburn have tucked into that second place. They've turned the machine hard and they come up the inside of the young Cornishman as they go past us. So Rod and Billy Winterburn take the lead as they go into that pit turn. Kieron Hicks comes into contact with Willoffen and Jason Farwell in that turn. They came together heavily in the middle of the corner. So once again, Willoffen and Jason Farwell, the drama, but they hold a very good second place at the moment. Tom Cossar is fighting to try and come up the inside of Willoffen as they come past us. Again it gets close in this pit corner. Again Willoffen shuts the door on Tom Cossar and stops him from coming through. The machine bucks as he comes out of the turn and Tom Cossar is able to gain an advantage. Going up that straight and he's not quite got past Willoffen. Willoffen's got to try and keep the machine in because Tom Cossar's very fast on that inside line. I think he's forced a way through. No, Willoffen's just in front. Again they come together in this turn and Willoffen still holds under that second place. So a brilliant ride by Willoffen in that second place. He struggles to turn the bike on the exit. Tom Cossar comes past him. Willoffen still not giving up. He's trying to come round the outside of Cossar now. He turns the power on. Has he got enough? Just about. Tom Cossar comes home second. Willoffen in third. A brilliant ride between those two. Rob Bradley fourth, Kieron Hicks fifth, but of course there's no doubt about the winner. An impressive ride by Rob and Billy Winterburn.
No, he's going straight back to pits. No, he's not. He's fell off. He's going to have a world's crime, Here he comes. He's going to have a protest.
Graham's walking away as fast as he can.
Have a protest. I'm going back to the pits.
And he just went straight
Straight in, didn't he? Why didn't he say that? Right, we've got a delegation coming.
So lots of chopping and changing once again. I can see the clerk of the course having a word with Willoffen.
Oh, see, Hicks has got
Up on that pit corner. Clearly Kieron Hicks not happy with the fact that his race was hampered so much by that contact in the middle of the corner.
Wasn't very happy. They pushed him, I think, as they come down the line.
I wouldn't say it was a push. Full-blown barge, I think.
So then, the results of race 25. It was a win for number 48, Rod Winterburn and Billy Winterburn. Second place, number 29, Tom Cossar and Wayne Rickards. Third place, number 80, Willoffen and Jason Farwell. Fourth place, number 87, Rob Bradley and Darren Wilce. And fifth place, number 78, Kieron Hicks and Kieron Ivy. The winner's time, 1 minute 17. 1 minute 17, that equates to a speed of 54.47. Those numbers again, 48, 29, 80, 87 and 78.
One thing I thought about last night, I put the phone up in Yep. I do it every time I come out. I never bring those.
So problems in race 25 and drama in race 25 right the way through the field, but we turn our attention to race 26 and we've got our defending champions in this one, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown coming out of gate 6. So far so good for them, they haven't been beaten yet. On this race 26 and away they go, and Rob Wilson and Terry Saunters have made a fabulous start. They go down that last lead into this turn. So Rob Wilson and Terry Saunters lead. Miles Simmons comes underneath Gareth Winterburn. He's going to make things difficult for him. Winterburn has to go right round the outside, and Matt Fumarola's made some room up the inside. So real drama as they go to this turn. Matt Fumarola's up the inside of Gareth Winterburn. He's trying to go up the inside of Rob Wilson. They're all falling. It's over. He's falling over. Fumarola's got himself into that second place, and Winterburn's being forced wide. Very wide on that turn, and Fumarola's taking the lead. A brilliant ride by Matt Fumarola to take the lead, and Rob Wilson comes back up the inside of him. A fantastic race 26 here developing as Rob Wilson clings onto that lead. Fumarola trying to go around the outside of him, and Winterburn in. So Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown being forced to go wide, and once again they're going very wide, but Matt Fumarola and Gareth Williams cling on as the last lap flag goes out. Winterburn back in 4th place. He's trying to get past Miles Simmons up the inside as they go around that pit corner, but there really is no room for him. So into this final bend for the final time on this fabulous race. Gareth Winterburn turns much harder this time out of the turn, but it's a win for Matt Fumarola. Wright Wilson takes second. I think Miles Simmons was third, but it was very close on a line. Wow, what a race. What a race by the sidecars, and what a surprise. Just when you thought it was all over, Matt Fumarola come flying through the pack to take the victory. A fabulous ride by Matt Fumarola and Gareth Williams. Wow, what a brilliant race 26 that was. But after all the dust had settled, there was only one winner, number 15, Matt Fumarola and Gareth Williams. They take the win. Second place, number 24, Rob Wilson and Terry Saunters. Third place, number 9, Miles and Robbie Simmons. Fourth place, number 49, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown. Fifth place, number 151, Jeff Measer and Gareth Tregeilgas. And sixth place, number 13, Joe Sturtridge and Sean Hoskin. The winner's time, 1 minute 18, and the speed, 53.77. Those numbers again, 15, 24, 9, 49, 151, and 13. So then, the final heat of the 1000cc sidecars. This really is developing into quite a crescendo, this meeting. Problems for Gareth Winterburn mean that he only finished 4th. Now Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth, they've had a dramatic day, all day long. They come out in this race. Colin Blackbourn and Carl Pugh, of course, they managed to win their last race. And Paul Whitelam and Alan Elliott currently sit in 2nd place overall and have been going very well also. So, if Paul Whitelam can have a good ride here, he could probably go into the semi-final stage as top point scorer after what's happened to Gareth Winterburn. I'm just wondering what's going on. I know that Mark Cossar has been trying to get that Speedway engine into the Grasstrack bike.
Comes.
So now I can see emerging onto the track Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth, and they are on their Grasstrack bike, so that means that the engine has been swapped. They've taken that Suzuki GSXR engine out the Speedway machine, they've thrown it into the Grasstrack machine. And Steph Blyth and Alistair Sutherland come out to replace Mick State and Ryan Knowles in this one, so Steph gets his machine back. Of course, Mark used that machine in the 3rd set of heat, so lots of chopping and changing, lots of drama in this sidecar competition this afternoon. Now, will it all be plain sailing from here on for Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth? It's certainly not gone to plan so far. So, Steph Blyth and Alistair Sutherland getting a ride before the heats are out. They'll be pleased with that. All the way down from Leicester, Steph. Takes go up on this final heat, and it is Colin Blackbourn and Carl Pugh who lead into the first turn, closely followed by Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth in that 2nd place. But they're putting an awful lot of pressure on Colin Blackbourn in that turn. They've turned the machine hard, they've come up the inside, and it is Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth who now lead going into that pit corner. So a good first turn by Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth. Blackbourn and Pugh are in that 2nd, and Whitelam and Elliott these outfits at the moment, right at the pointy end of the point. They won't know they're in the finals. All they've got to do now is just ride home. A huge wheel stand for Mark Cossar as he comes past us. obviously enjoying being back on his own machine. So could we be seeing a turning point in this British Masters competition in this race? So far this afternoon it's all been about Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown, but now Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth back on their own machine. Steph Blyth having a good ride in that 4th place. But after the drama of race 26, much more spread out in this race. The checker flag is made ready, and it's going to be a win for number 37, Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth. Colin Blackbourn and Carl Pugh second. Whitelam and Elliott finished 3rd. Steph Blyth and Alistair Sutherland 4th. John Hiscock and Terry Madley finished 5th. And George Penfold and Bradley Steer come home 6th. So the results of race 27, the final heat of the qualifying legs for the British Masters for 2019. It was a win for number 37, Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth. In 2nd place, number 25, Colin Blackbourn and Carl Pugh. 3rd place, number 92, Paul Whitelam and Alan Elliott. 4th place, our reserve coming in, number 30, Steph Blyth and Alistair Sutherland. In 5th place, number 184, John Hiscock and Terry Madley. And in 6th place, number 124, George Penfold and Bradley Steer. The winning time, 1 minute 17. 1 minute 17. That's a speed of 54.47. Those numbers again, 37, 25, 92, 30, 184 and 124. Broken his arm, he suffered a broken arm, Tim Nobe, so real shame to hear that from Tim. He was riding well, but a broken arm for Tim Nobe. So how come the bikes then? How come the riders for this first semi-final? Who can put a stop to James Shanes? He's already won this title 3 times, of course. He would love to win it a 4th time. So the riders having a good look at the track before they start this race. Plenty of track work's been going on in the interval. So all eyes will be on James Shanes. Who can stop the 22-year-old in this race? He's been absolutely flying this afternoon. Zach Wajknecht, of course, not the ideal defence of his title up to now, but he knows, he told us earlier that all he's got to do is get into that top 8. Get into that final and then it's anyone's championship. He knows that. Perhaps he's been very sensible and very cautious up to now. So here we go then. Semi-final one. The tapes go up and away they go. And it is James Shanes that noses in front. James Wright's made an excellent start as well. And Stephen Green's made a much better start this time as well. But it is James Shanes who leads into that turn. James Wright's in that 2nd place and Wajknecht in 3rd. James Wright having a good start to this race. Zach Wajknecht's not got away past him yet. Tony Atkins got himself into that 4th place, but Stephen Green's come right round the outside of him, and Stephen Green heads into that 4th. So then at the front, James Shanes got a good way at the moment. That final at the end of the day, Tony Atkins needs a good ride here to make sure he's in that top 8. And Stephen Green, of course, he's just behind Tony Atkins on points, so if Stephen Green can make it up into the increase his chances of getting into that top 8 at the front. The last lap flag number 93. What a fantastic ride he's having in this one. Long way ahead of James Wright, who's gone very wide coming out of this turn and allowed Zach Wajknecht to catch right up onto the back wheel of him. Stephen Green now has got his way into that 4th place, but Tony Atkins is coming back at him. And attack Tony Atkins, I think. Number 93, James Wright, takes a bigger flag. Zach Wajknecht has got himself into 2nd and James Wright's fallen on that turn. So James Wright fell on And he's got himself going again. Just about picking up 7th place, James Wright. So Zach Wajknecht finally getting himself into 2nd when James Wright fell. So some interesting results in this first semi-final, but it was a win for number 93, James Shanes. 2nd place, number 109, Zach Wajknecht. 3rd place, number 66, Stephen Green. 4th place, number 10, Tony Atkin. 5th, number 17, Andrew Whitaker. 6th place, number 12, Daniel Winterton. 7th place, after that fall, number 69, James Wright. And 8th place, number 41, Stuart Mears. The winner's time was 1 minute 22, and the speed 51.14. The numbers again, 93, 109, 66, 10, 17, 12, 69 and 41. So good score for Stephen Green. 6 points for that 3rd place after James Wright fell and he worked his way past Tony Atkin. Could that push Stephen Green into that top 8? He was on 19 coming into that race, so that leaves him on 25 points. Could be enough, we'll have to work it out in a moment, but a very good ride by Stephen Green. So we turn our attention to this 2nd semi-final, and already the riders are coming around to have a look at the track. Edward Kennett, of course, started the day very strongly earlier on. Paul Hurry got the better of him in that last heat. Paul's been going very well. This circuit has really come to Paul Hurry this afternoon. He really is going well at the moment, Paul Hurry. He's in the form of his life. He's started to wind down his career by his own admission, but he really hasn't slowed down at all. He's been going very quick this year. Already made the European final with a terrific ride up in Mid-Shires. Won his last Masters title in 2005, Paul Hurry, so it's been a long wait for him. It really would be a swan song if he was able to pull it off today. Who would put it past him on the form that he's in? Mark Baseby, I can see, has switched machines for this last ride. He's not been having the best of luck, Mark Baseby, this afternoon. He's not really been at his best. He's changed machines for this semi-final, so that'll be interesting to see if number 44, if that spare machine gives him any better fortune. Up on this 2nd semi-final. It's a great start for number 6 Edward Kennett. He streaks past us and leads into the first turn. Tom Perry's dived up the inside of him. Charlie Powell's come up the inside as well. Kennett's gone back through the field. So a dreadful first turn from Edward Kennett. Charlie Powell's now putting him under immense pressure for that 4th place. In fact, Edward Kennett's pulled up at the back. Problems for Edward Kennett. But Tom Perry having a great ride here, getting himself in front. Paul Cooper's in that 2nd place at full house. This one has Charlie Powell and Martin Sturgeon, so I can see that both of them are in 4th and 5th. Charlie Powell really could do with taking that 3rd, but I don't think he's going to catch Paul Hurry at this stage. Meanwhile, at the front, Tom Perry riding his best race in Saddle James. Cooper's got no answer at the moment. Tom Perry's come very wide in this turn. He's trying out a good lap. Thinking about that final already. Thinking about which is the quickest way around this circuit for that final. And in doing so, he's allowed Paul Cooper to come right up the side of him. They get very close on the exit of that turn. Tom Perry's just got a nose in front. He's going to run wide. Is he going to come tight this time? Again, he runs wide. Paul Cooper is run wide himself. Very close to the line. Paul Cooper is trying to stay on the circuit. Paul Cooper wins. Perry in 2nd. Paul Hurry 3rd. Charlie Powell 4th, Martin Sturgeon 5th, Callum Walker 6th, Edward Kennett 7th, and Mark Baseby 8th place. race 29, the second solo semi-final. It was a win, right on the line, number 11, Paul Cooper. Second place, number 1, Tom Perry. Third place, number 86, Paul Hurry. Fourth, number 92, Charlie Powell. In fifth place, number 15, Martin Sturgeon. Sixth place, number 47, Callum Walker. Seventh place, number 6, Edward Kennett. And eighth place, number 44, Mark Baseby. The winner's time was 1 minute 24, 1 minute 24, and a speed of 56.46. And a correction for the speed in the first semi-final, it was 57.83, the first semi-final, 57.83. So that makes things very interesting for all that top 8. Cooper and Perry obviously confirming their places in the final, as did Paul Hurry. But then there's a lot of calculating to do to find out who takes up those last 2 places in that solo semi-final. Because a lot of those riders on the bubble had really good semi-finals. But whilst all that goes on, we turn our attention back to the sidecar competition. And in the first semi-final, going head-to-head for the second time today, it will be Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown, and Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth. And that's not to say that there aren't others in this competition. Colin Blackbourn and Pugh have been going very well this afternoon. They've done this before, where they've quietly gone about their business throughout the day at the Masters and then popped out the gate in the final and won everything. Rob Bradley and Darren Wilce, of course, a very experienced crew. Have they got something up their sleeve for this semi-final? Miles and Robbie Simmons have been there or thereabouts as well. And despite all the drama, Will Hoffman and Jason Farwell have been making excellent starts. So there really is a lot to play for in this first semi-final. So at the moment, despite that 4th place, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown are still top of the points table with 24 points. They are the top point scorers going into these finals, into these semi-finals. Second to them though, tied on 23 points, is Paul Whitelam and Alan Elliott and Rod Winterburn and Billy Winterburn. They go in the second semi-final, of course. And then Mark Cossar on 22 with Carl Blyth in the chair, Colin Blackbourn and Carl Pugh on 21. And then that last place in the final, Rob Wilson and Terry Saunters currently on 19, and Matt Fumarola and Gareth Williams currently on 18. So the race in that second semi-final really will be between Rob Wilson and Matt Fumarola to see who's going to make it into the final. Kieran Hicks and Kieron Ivy and Tom Cossar and Wayne Rickards, of course, still in with a shout, as is Miles Simmons and Rob Bradley in this first semi-final. So there's a lot of calculating still to do. There's a lot of outcomes that still could happen at this stage. All they'll want to do though is go out and win this race. So then the last to come to the line, Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth. What a turbulent afternoon they've had. Coming up against Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown for the second time. You might remember right at the beginning of the day they met in heat number 1 of the sidecars. Mark was leading and then he blew his motor to pieces right at the finish line, allowing Gareth to come past. Now he's got that Speedway engine in. What could change? So the pace go up and away they go, and Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown have made a marvellous start, but Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth are very fast as well. Paul Whitelam and Alan Elliott are there as well. It's not for one of them, it's Colin Blackbourn around the outside, of course. So Mark Cossar comes up the inside, he puts a lot of pressure on to Gareth Winterburn, Pop's coming past us, gets very close as they come past us. Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown clearly not happy with that as they come past us, but Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth get themselves somehow or another. Gareth Winterburn's held on to that second place, and Colin Blackbourn's in the third. Will Hoffman riding well in that 4th place. Gareth Winterburn trying to cut the corner off and gain some ground on Mark Cossar, but very close as they come past us. Mark Cossar and Gareth Winterburn on that opening lap, and Gareth still hasn't let Mark go. He's still very close to him. Still in. Into the top corner they go then. Mark Cossar and Blyth, they lead, but can Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown draw them in? They've got much closer to them this time. Colin Blackbourn still holds that third comfortably, but I'm sure all eyes are on those front two because they are definitely pulled away a little bit from Gareth Winterburn. Round the bend they come for the final time in this semi-final. It's going to be Mark Cossar and Blyth. They take the win. Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown come home second. Colin Blackbourn and Pugh third. Wilson and Jason Farwell fourth. Miles Simmons fifth. And Rob Bradley will come home in sixth. So Mark and Gareth really not happy with each other over there. Gareth coming straight over to the clerk of the course to show him what he thinks of that manoeuvre by Mark Cossar, but interestingly, I'm hearing behind me, that does tie them on points, so that could be absolutely crucial going into this final. Gareth Winterburn and Mark Cossar tied on points going into the final. You just wouldn't think that after the day that we've had today. So, high drama in this first semi-final. Now obviously Mark Cossar and Blyth, Gareth Winterburn, Liam Brown came together on this back straight. The clerk of the course has made a very difficult decision, had to make a difficult decision, so the win of that first semi-final goes to outfit number 49, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown. In second place, number 37, Mark Cossar and Blyth. Third place, number 25, Colin Blackbourn and Pugh. Fourth place, number 80, Wilson and Jason Farwell. Fifth place, number 9, Miles Simmons and Robbie Simmons. And in sixth place, number 87, Rob Bradley and Darren Wilce. The winner's time was taken as Mark Cossar crossed the line, so there is no winner's time or speed for the semi-final because the clerk of the course's decision reversed the result. So high drama. But of course, remind you, it doesn't really matter because they'll all be in that final. Gareth Winterburn and Mark Cossar will be in that final, but it does mean that Gareth will go in as top point scorer.
He could have catch amongst pigeons this one last time. For over.
So absolute high drama in that first semi-final. Now in the second semi-final, Whitelam and Elliott and Rod Winterburn and Billy Winterburn currently tied on 23 points. They're pretty much into that final. But Rob Wilson and Terry Saunters, Matt Fumarola and Gareth Williams and Kieran Hicks and Kieron Ivy all sit on that top 6 bubble at the moment. They really do have to have a good ride. One of those has to have a good ride in this one. After Rob Bradley and Miles Simmons came 5th and 6th in the first semi-final, it really will come down to which of those 3 outfits has the best ride in this one. Rob Wilson and Matt Fumarola are just a point away from those finals, so this is very important to both Rob Wilson and Matt Fumarola. And Kieran Hicks, even if he can cause an upset in this one, currently on 15 points. So then, lots of connotations, lots of mathematical connotations for this second semi-final on who gets into that top 6. There was an awful lot to ride for. Remember, anyone in that top 6 can then end the day as British Masters champion, irrespective of what's happened up till now. So here we go, and it looks like Kieran Hicks has made a very good start, a fantastic start for Kieran Hicks and Kieron Ivy. Closely followed by Paul Whitelam and Elliott. Rob Wilson and Terry Saunters are going round the outside, but what a start by Kieran Hicks and Kieron Ivy. They lead once again in this heat. Very close at the moment for that second place. I can see that Rob Wilson's trying to go round the outside of Gareth Winterburn. And Billy Winterburn. Matt Fumarola in that 5th place, all the way up the inside of Rob Wilson. But at the front, Kieran Hicks and Kieron Ivy. They really weren't happy after that 4th leg. They were moved over quite ferociously up on that turn. They'll be much more happy being at the front this time. It's all still very close though at the front because Paul Whitelam's just found a bit of grip coming out of that turn, and Gareth Winterburn now to the back of him. Rod Winterburn comes onto the back of Paul Whitelam. They're all very close together. Rod Winterburn turns the bike sideways in the middle of the corner, which means Rob Wilson's now on twin. They're all very close to that second place. Whitelam blocks Rod Winterburn going into this turn and stops him coming up the inside. While all that's going on behind Kieran Hicks, he's going away to win this race. Whitelam comes on turn 2, he's going to go round the outside, but is he going to leave a gap for Rod Winterburn? No, he's not. He turns the bike hard in the middle of the corner. A terrific win by Kieran Hicks and Kieron Ivy. Very close on the line between Rod Winterburn and Paul Whitelam. They got very close indeed. Rob Wilson 4th, Matt Fumarola comes home 5th, and Tom Cossar will be 6th. So, sidecar semi-final 2, and once again the young Cornishman and his passenger Kieron Ivy pop out the gate. The winner of semi-final number 2, number 78, Kieran Hicks and Kieron Ivy. Second place, number 92, Paul Whitelam and Elliott. In 3rd place, number 48, Rod Winterburn and Billy Winterburn. In 4th place, number 24, Rob Wilson and Terry Saunters. 5th place, number 15, Matt Fumarola and Gareth Williams. And 6th place, number 29, Tom Cossar and Wayne Rickards. The winner's time, 1 minute 20. 1 minute 20, that equates to 52.42 miles an hour. Average speed, those numbers again, 78, 92, 48, 24, 15 and 29. Now behind me here, all the calculations are going into finding out who are going to be in that top 8 in the solos, who's going to be in that top 6 for the sidecars. In the meantime, whilst we wait, we have our 4th leg of the left-hand sidecars. So here we go with this leg 4 of the left-hand sidecars, and Alex Bauman and Mark Hopkins lead into that first turn, closely followed by Tommy Penfold and very close going into that turn, but it is Alex Bauman and Mark Hopkins that lead. Tommy Penfold has come round the outside, he's going to try and go round him, but he's left a huge gap up the inside for Rob Heath and Kyle Fish. Into this turn they go, so Tommy Penfold and Terry Draper going round the outside. Once again, Bauman and Hopkins have got them in. Kyle Fish in that turn, so Alex Bauman and Mark Hopkins having a great ride here in this first place, but Penfold is desperate to get round the outside of him. He passes him coming past us. So Penfold gets into the front. Alex Bauman tries to attack him back up the inside, but he really is quick, Tommy Penfold. Very fast for that second place, getting himself past Alex Bauman. So the last lap flag is made ready, and Tommy Penfold and Terry Draper look very good for this one. Rob Heath looks very lively in that 3rd place. He's trying to find a way past Alex Bauman to try and get himself into 2nd. Whitaker. Alex Bauman and Mark Hopkins second. Rob Heath and Kyle Fish third. Jay Sullivan and Stephen Bickley fourth. Fifth place to Billy and Josh Penfold. And John Morris and Dan Woodbridge come home in sixth. So the results of race 32, the final left-hand sidecar leg of the afternoon. It was a win for number 96, Tommy Penfold and Terry Draper. Second place, number 7, Alex Bauman and Mark Hopkins. Third place, number 18, Rob Heath and Kyle Fish. Fourth place, number 67, Jay Sullivan and Stephen Bickley, our reserves coming in. Fifth place, number 125, Billy and Josh Penfold. And sixth place, number 16, John Morris and Dan Woodbridge. The winner's time, 1 minute 43, and the speed 46.04. Those numbers again, 96, 7, 18, 67, 125 and 16. British Masters format which forces riders into this pressure cooker situation that they find themselves in this final. 4 laps. First man over the line, British Masters champion. So the starter calling the riders onto the line. Who's going to make the start? Who's going to ride this first corner the best? They take glove on this 2019 British Masters final, and there's 4 of them all together going into that turn. James Shanes once again dives to the inside, and it is Shanes who leads. Paul Cooper's got himself into second, and Grasstrack there on third. Second as they go up into that banking, but James Shanes back out in front. Paul Cooper holding on to that second place, but Wajknecht's come up the inside of him. Paul Hurry's tried to come up the inside of him too, but Wajknecht gets himself into second, so it's a reversal from the 2018 result with James Shanes into the back of that Wajknecht. Paul Hurry's in that fourth and Tom Perry's in fifth. But James Shanes, he's been fantastic all day. Once again he's got himself to the front. Once again he's pulling away from the rest of the pack. A small consolation with that Wajknecht. If he can hold it all together. Hurry hasn't given up trying to get onto the rostrum. As the last lap flag's made ready for James Shanes. Zach Wajknecht second, Cooper third, Hurry's in fourth, Tom Perry's in that fifth place. Look at James Shanes, absolutely flying. 4-time British Masters champion. There's a very elite group of people that have won 4 Masters champions. James Shanes wins, Zach Wajknecht second. Close on the line, Paul Hurry does get third, Paul Cooper fourth, Tom Perry in fifth, James Wright sixth, Tony Atkins seventh, and we've lost Edward Kennett somewhere around the track, but he will be credited with 8th place. What a fantastic result for James Shanes. He won it in 2015, he won it in 2016, won it again in 2017, he was stopped in 2018, but he's won it again in 2019. 4 times British Masters champion, James Shanes. Give him a round of applause as he goes round. A fabulous ride by James Shanes, absolutely flawless all day. He's not put a rule wrong. He really does deserve this 4th title. A brilliant ride by James Shanes. Commiserations for Zach Wajknecht, a brilliant ride in his final. 2nd place for him, he is the reigning champion, he's the going out champion. He's been a good champion for our sport. Tom Perry, a good ride in that final to claim 5th. And a wheelie for Paul Hurry, who right at the last minute got himself onto the rostrum once again for the Masters. Another rostrum finish for Paul Hurry. 3rd place for him. But here comes your winner, your champion, your 2019 British Masters champion, James Shanes. official results of the solo final for the British Masters for 2019. The winner and the champion, number 93, James Shanes. Second place, number 109, Zach Wajknecht. Third place, number 86, Paul Hurry. Fourth place, number 11, Paul Cooper. Fifth place, number 1, Tom Perry. Sixth place, number 69, James Wright. Seventh place, number 10, Tony Atkin. And eighth place, number 6, Edward Kennett. James's winner's time, 1 minute 21, and the speed in that final, an average speed of 58.55 miles per hour. 58.55.
When Kenny come down there.
So congratulations to James Shanes on his 4th Masters title. But now we turn our attention to the 3-wheeled monsters that are the 1000cc sidecars. So after all of the heats throughout the day, after all of the racing, it comes down to this, these 4 laps. First sidecar crew to take the checkered flag. The first crew over the line will be the British Masters champions for 2019. Heading into the final, of course, reigning defending champions Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown. Top point scorers at the moment. Paul Whitelam and Alan Elliott going into this final. Of course, it's been a long time since Paul won the British Masters back in 2004. Long time. He's been on brilliant form this afternoon. Or will it be Rod and Billy Winterburn? Turned up on this outfit for this afternoon, raced it for the very first time, and are the 3rd place scorers going into this final. We know we can never count out Rod Winterburn. He is a 3 times Masters champion. And the 4th scorer, of course, Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth. What a journey they've had to this final. They looked like they were going to win that first heat. The machine disintegrated underneath them, just coming to the finish line. They then changed to their speedway outfit for their 2nd race. They then had to borrow a machine for the 3rd race. They then had an engine change in the time and put a different engine into the machine for their 4th ride. They saw their result reversed in the semi-final, yet still they are in this final. Number 25, Colin Blackbourn and Carl Pugh, 2 times British Masters champions, of course. In 2015, nobody expected Colin Blackbourn to do what he did. He popped out of the gate and won the final, took advantage of this final ruling. And then the 6th place qualifier. I'm delighted to see this crew in the final. Kieron Hicks and Kieron Ivy. Just 21 years old, Kieron Hicks. And Kieron Ivy, just 25 years old. This young crew raced their way into the final of the British Masters. Just 4 laps, British Masters champions. Up on this final, and away they go, and Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown have made a fantastic start. They keep going for the first turn. I'm looking to see where Mark Cossar is. He's currently in 4th at the moment. Rod Winterburn turns the machine sideways in the corner, but Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown lead. Colin Blackbourn's got himself into that 2nd place, and Mark Cossar's in 3rd. Something comes off the machine there of Colin Blackbourn. Rod Winterburn's got up the inside of Mark Cossar, but Cossar gets into that 3rd place. So Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown settle themselves in the front now. They want to try and pull away from Colin Blackbourn if they can, but Mark Cossar looks very quick in that 3rd place. He'll be chasing down Colin Blackbourn. In that 2nd place, he comes up the inside of him. They touch in the middle of the corner. Mark Cossar lets Colin Blackbourn go and then carries on again. So then, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown, they lead this Masters final. Colin Blackbourn's run wide in this turn, and he's allowed Mark Cossar up the inside of him. Cossar does take that 2nd place. So a mistake by Colin Blackbourn in this bottom corner allowed Mark Cossar to come up the inside to take that 2nd place. But Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown, a fantastic ride by them. They made a tremendous gate. They're coming round this final corner. It's another title, a successful defence. Winterburn and Liam Brown. Mark Cossar second, Colin Blackbourn third, Gareth Winterburn fourth, Whitelam fifth and Kieran Hicks sixth. So a fabulous title defence by Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown. They just had that blip in that fourth leg where they came fourth. They didn't make a good start, but in the final they leapt out of the gate. They made no mistakes. They rode a sensible line throughout the whole race, kept Colin Blackbourn at bay, and thoroughly deserved to be 2 times British Masters champions. For Liam Brown, of course, this is his 4th Masters title as he continues to mount up the titles. But a successful defence. Gareth Winterburn and Billy Winterburn came today having never ridden this machine before, and they picked up a 4th place in the Masters. What a performance by Wood and Billy. Here are your champions, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown. A fabulous performance by them. Mark Cossar and Blyth didn't get out the start as well as they might have in that final. They get held up in the traffic, managed to fight their way through to get into second. A well-deserved second for Cossar and Blyth after such an eventful day. A brilliant day's race of the Whitelam and Elliott. And Kieron Hicks and Kieron Ivy in their first British Masters final. What a display by these young boys.
See you later, mate. Look after yourself.
So the results of the sidecar final and the results of this 2019 British Masters. The winner, the champions, number 49, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown. Second place, number 37, Mark Cossar and Blyth. Third place, number 25, Colin Blackbourn and Pugh. In fourth place, number 48, Gareth Winterburn and Billy Winterburn. Fifth place, number 92, Whitelam and Elliott. And sixth place, number 78, Kieran Hicks and Kieron Ivy. 1 minute 17 was the time, 54.47 was the speed. So a fantastic day's racing has taken place here at Digbrook Lane, I'm sure you agree. We will be having a presentation of awards with all the winners over on the home straight, just behind the PA box. You can see that there's a podium here. The bar will be open. Plenty of food to get. It's not, you don't have to go home just yet. Miss the rush, come and cheer on the winners. Cheer on the efforts that they've made. What fantastic racing we've had here. Don't forget that Grasstrack continues right up until the end of October. Get on Grasstrack Banter on Facebook if you want to find out the latest all about Grasstrack. But if you are making a quick exit, have a safe journey home, and we hope you've enjoyed the 2019 British Masters.
Right, thank you everyone for joining us for this British Masters rostrum. What a fantastic day's racing we've had today. It's been brilliant from start to finish. The first thing I want to talk about is this club, the GTSA Club. I don't know how many of you know the way it all works, but basically all the clubs can apply to run the British Masters. It's a huge commitment from the club. The club, I'm sure you will agree, have done a brilliant job of running this British Masters. It's been absolutely fantastic, so I think we all need to give GTSA a massive round of applause. And one man who I know has been working very hard for the last few weeks, he won't admit it, but he has been working really hard behind the scenes. I'm going to invite him up to do the left-hand sidecars because it is very fitting. He is a British champion, a former British champion, Will Penfold. You can't trust him. Now, some of you might not realise this, but Will and his passenger Ricky, they went to the Masters qualifier. They qualified for today, and because Will wanted to do as much as he could with the Masters, he actually forfeited his place in this year's British Masters so that he could make sure that everything was running like clockwork. So I think that is a real thing that needs a real round of applause for Will. And he'll win it next year. So the left-hand sidecars in third place in our left-hand sidecar support. He's been making some great starts all day. Alex Bauman and Mark Hopkins.
They're all getting beat, bro.
Yeah, they've put the beer tent in the wrong place, haven't they? Huh? Yeah. Where is he? Well, we've got Mark Hopkins anyway. And in second place in the left-hand sidecars, Rob Heath and Kyle Fish. We've got another passenger with no driver.
Kyle.
Right, third time's a charm. Let's see what happens this time. Our left-hand sidecar winner this afternoon, Tommy Penfold and Terry Draper. So Mark, really nice to be involved in the Masters, I'm sure, but happy with third place?
Yeah, we enjoyed today's racing. A gear change issue in the final, which we were stuck in second gear, but no, very good day, well prepared track, good times.
Excellent. Well, he's not here, but I'm sure he'll hear Alex Bauman and Mark Hopkins, third place. In second, our British champions, Rob Heath and Kyle Fish. Rob, like I said to Mark, great to be a part of this meeting.
Yeah, really good day. Personally, we just couldn't get it right today, but Tom pulled it out of the bag again. So, yeah, really nice track. Right to be part of the meeting. It was lovely. Thank you very much.
Well done, Rob Heath and Kyle Fish. But our winners, he's in great form at the moment, Tommy Penfold, and a standing passenger today. But first of all, Tommy, really pleased with today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely brilliant. Brilliant racing. Take me out off to the passenger. He's never been on one before.
So it's your first time. How much did you drink to be asked to do that?
Well, it was a meeting in the pub, but no, it was good, mate. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good fun.
Well done. Our winners today, Tommy Penfold and Terry Draper. Okay, our next trophy that we need to award was decided after the semi-finals in the 1000cc sidecars. This beautiful trophy right here has become one of the best trophies to win in the 1000cc sidecars. It is the Mick Steer Trophy. Mick obviously had lots to do with this club, and lots of his family members still do to this day. He was an absolute pioneer when it came to sidecar racing, so it's absolutely apt that we're presenting this at the British Masters. But I'd like to call up, please, Bradley Steer to present this award. So Bradley, wherever you are, can you come up? Here he is, been in the toilet. Bradley Steer. So the winners of this trophy, top scorers after the semi-finals, just one little blip, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown. Here he is. First time he's been last all day. So I think we'll talk about the Masters in a minute, but nice trophy to win, Gareth.
Yeah, brilliant. We've never won it before, so yeah, it's a bit of an honour to win, really. I'm quite excited about it.
So well done. Obviously in a minute we'll talk about all the other things that have gone on today, but Liam, I'm not sure if we'll have a look. I don't think your name's on this yet. It's one that you haven't won.
Yeah, first one this time, so hopefully I can win it again.
Well done. Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown, this year's winners of the Mick Steer Trophy. So, there are a few names in Grasstrack that make me a little bit nervous, because I've grown up with the sport and it makes a lot of us a bit nervous to speak to these people because they're such big names in our sport. So I'm really honoured to ask this man up onto the stage to present our awards for the British Masters this afternoon. He's an absolute legend of this sport, no one will argue with that. He's a 6 times Ace of Aces champion, we all know how much that means. He's a British Masters champion. He's one of the most popular riders of all time in Grasstrack, Steve Schofield. So Steve, enjoyed your day here at the Masters?
Yeah, it was a good day, good for the club. They've done a really good job, first class. Everything went well apart from the bad injury the guy had. I hope he's okay. But yeah, I just think it was good for the sport, getting it back into the limelight a bit more, you know, which I think it needs. You know.
We've obviously got a lot of up and coming riders at the moment in the solos. For someone that's gone away from the sport now, obviously for a few years, it must be good for you to come back and see that there are so many top riders in Europe from Britain now.
Yeah, I think it's coming good now. I mean, there's today like James really rode well, and there's other guys that rode well. It was you know, it was really hard. You know, it was a good meeting. You know, and a deservable winner who won it. You know, he deserved it. He's done well all day.
Thank you, Steve. Well, we'll get on with these awards, I think. Thank you, Steve. Great to hear from you. So, we'll start off with the solo. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. Steve Schofield. So, the solo racing has been absolutely tremendous. Before the meeting started, we had no idea who was going to do the winning. It was about 8 or 9 of them that could have done the winning this afternoon. But it all became a little bit more clear as we started to get going. Now, this man had to work really hard for his 3rd place. He was lying in 4th for a long time, and then he pipped Paul Cooper at the post. I'm sure Paul's really annoyed about that. But 3rd place this afternoon, a 10th rostrum for this man in the Masters, Paul Hurry. So in 2nd place in the solo competition, he was defending his title today. I'm sure he'll be pleased with 2nd, even though it's disappointing to lose your title. I'm sure he'll go again, he's only a young man. 2nd place in the Masters, Zach Wajknecht. The music set the car alarm off. So our British Masters champion for 2019, he's really earned it. He won it in 2015, he won it in 2016, he won it in 2017 and became the only rider ever to win 3 in a row. He nearly went 4 in a row, but this man stopped him. So he came here today to make that right, and boy did he, with 6 amazing wins, our Masters champion for 2019, James Shanes. So I do want to get a few thoughts from these riders if we can, before they start going nuts with this champagne. So Paul, I spoke to you at the beginning, you said this might be your last Masters. I said to you then, if you won a 5th one, would you carry on? You said no. So this could be the last one, must be brilliant to finish on the rostrum.
Yeah, it is. It's just a special day, isn't it, for everyone really. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes and see how the rest of the season goes, but the time's close.
And obviously you got into the meeting and then suddenly you had lots and lots of pace and you were up there with the front runners and you must have been thinking then, there must have been a bit in the back of your mind thinking, I could do this.
There is, but then you think I've got James and Zach there. And yeah, it comes down to endurance and obviously they're a lot younger than me, so yeah, I enjoyed it and fair play to them too, they're well classed now, so yeah, it's nice to watch them progress and yeah, see how they go.
Well done, Paul Hurry. So Zach, obviously champion in 2018, but this year he was just a little bit too quick.
Yeah, definitely. He was going well today. Yeah, it was a good meeting today. I'm happy with this, seeing as started on the GTR this year. So I want to stick with it, and luckily for it to be where it is now, and a lot of people wrote it off. So yeah, thanks to Dave and Jane, and obviously Marcel and all that, and Paul and Jack and that are helping me out, and Mum and Dad and everyone else. So yeah, really, obviously wanted to win it, but with the way everything's gone and changing engines and stuff, I'm happy with this.
Yeah, and I think you have to be happy with it as well, because like I was saying to Steve before, all three of these are in the European final in a few weeks. We've got 8 riders in that final. We've got some really good British riders now, you being one of them. So all eyes now on that European final, I'm guessing.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big few weeks. European final, and then I've lucky enough got a wild card to the World Long Track qualifier, so that's something I'm looking at. So yeah, like I said, it's good that there's this amount of British riders in it. So yeah, well done to everyone, and well done to the club. Good meeting. So yeah.
Well done, Zach Wajknecht. And our 2019 champion, James Shanes. James, obviously he beat you last year and you got a puncture, and this year keeping a close eye on that rear tyre.
You don't know how true that was. I think I got Dad checking the tyre every race and kept checking it before he went out for the finals. I haven't got a punch yet, have I? And yeah, it was one of them things. Massive thank you to GTSA for running it. It's probably been one of the best tracks I've ridden on this year, so all credit to the club for putting on such a good meeting.
Well, that's really good to hear. I know that they've worked really hard on this circuit, so for a world-class rider to be saying that about this circuit, that really does mean a lot. James, obviously, the Masters is one of many meetings that you do in a season. You do lots and lots of racing all over the continent, but this is the one you want to win, really, isn't it?
Yeah, like you said, it is the big one to win, and you know, all respect to Zach last year, he outraced me in that race, so to sort of retain the title again is a massive thing for me. So hopefully I can push on to the European final and try and retain that title.
Ladies and gentlemen, in third, Paul Hurry, second, Zach Wajknecht, but our 2019 British Masters champion, James Shanes. Really slippery up here now. Whoever comes up, be careful. That'll be the one, won't it? Do a whole day's racing and then fall arse over tit up here. So Steve will be presenting our sidecar awards as well. So, in third place, he's been there or thereabouts all afternoon. He was holding second for a while in that final and he was looking good for it, but he ended up third. Colin Blackbourn and Pugh. So before we started any of the racing this afternoon, we were all thinking about these two for the top two. It is how it ended up. I know that lots of them didn't think that they would have had something to say about those top two being the top two, but it has ended up with these top two. What a day's racing we've had with these two. In second place, I can't wait to ask him about his day, Mark Cossar and Blyth. So our winners in the sidecar class this afternoon, a fabulous day's racing from this crew, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown. Right, it's dangerous here. There's a lot of things going on from all sorts. I mean, you wouldn't expect anything less from the sidecars, I suppose. So, Colin, it's obviously a competition that you've won twice before, and sorry, Steve, and you can never be counted out. I mean, that's the thing with you, Colin. You pop out the gate at any moment, but today you look like you were second, but just got pipped for third.
Yeah, we had a good go. This is only our fourth meeting this year, and it does help if you're out most weekends. You dial yourself in with the bike and your passenger, and say we haven't been out much, but no, we did what we could. I said when we first come here today, I'd be happy to make the final, so we seeded through to next year, and we've done that, and even happier now to have a podium place.
And Kyle, obviously, one of only three people that's won this with two different drivers. Nice to be on the rostrum again.
Oh, too right, yeah. Nice to be back up here again, and had a good day, and track held up well, and yeah, good day.
Colin Blackbourn and Carl Pugh, third place. So, where do we start? So, you blew up the first one, and then you had to use the speedway bike, and then you used Carl's brother's bike, and then you changed an engine in the middle of the day and went back on your own bike. So not quite to plan, really.
No, far from it, really. I'd like my first engine to stay together because that was quick, but then that didn't. So speeder bike didn't get around too clever. It was hard work. Yeah, so then we decided to take the speedway engine out, put it in the grass bike. Looked like we were going to miss a heat, so Steph kindly lent us his bike, and yeah, so we run a speedway engine in the final, which is not ideal, because it's not quite got the go to get at the start, but it got us around all right.
Yeah, it certainly did, and I mean, I've said this to you before, but to have a bad day and come second in the Masters, I mean, that's you can't be too disappointed. Everything's perspective.
No, I thought my day was over to start with, but then you look at what you got in front of you and work it out.
And Kyle, another Masters podium. I mean, you must be collecting them now, but obviously a really traumatic day for you, I'd imagine, watching a lot of running around going on and changing engines.
Yeah, I mean, I need to take my hat off to this guy. He's not sat down all day, ripping engines out. It's just unbelievable watching him work, but sadly, just the wrong step.
Well, still second place though, so very good riding. So Mark Cossar and Carl Blythe, second place. We're a long way out. And now on to our champions, Gareth and Liam. So Gareth, you've been flying on the run up to this meeting. You won the Master of Midshires, won the Whopper, won the Frittenden meeting with Paul Whitelam. So everything was going your way, and then it's just continued that way.
Yeah, we haven't done bad. We've done really well. We've all chipped in. Everybody's helped. My main mechanic Nathan, who's my cousin, he has been here for us today. But yeah, everything's gone our way. It's all gone smoothly. We struggled a lot today, but we just had to grin and bear it.
Well, you certainly grinned and bared it with 5 wins, so a really good day, Liam. I'm going to have to address the elephant in the room. Obviously, you nearly weren't here, but you must be really delighted to have been here in the end.
Yeah, definitely. I just hope the everything that I've had, like all the abuse over the last few weeks, all these little keyboard warriors can keep it all down now, and hopefully I can make as big a headlines in the Speedway Star as what I have been doing.
They like that. So Liam, moving away from that, obviously now you're a 4 times Masters champion, I think, and you're just collecting titles at the moment, and how long is it going to continue?
Well, as long as I can still hold on, that's the main thing. Yeah, we're matching Carl now and Dave Ward, so hopefully one more and we can be above everybody, and hopefully on to next week for the European final as well.
A big few weeks for you, and Gareth, second title. Defending your title, obviously it's hard to win one, but lots of people say it's even harder to try and defend your title, and you've done it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fast lads here today, and like Rob beaters and Matt's beaters and Mark's beaters, and everybody's fast and everybody's thing. It's all on that gate. If you can make a good gate and create some dust, you're on to half of 50% of a winner, really.
Well, congratulations today, you 3. Colin Blackbourn and Carl Pugh in 3rd. 2nd place, Mark Cossar and Carl Blyth. But our champions for 2019, Gareth Winterburn and Liam Brown.
So clap, so clap, so clap.
So we've just got one more bit of business to deal with. I'm not sure how many of you have been over to the 151 stand today, but there's been a raffle going on. There's a helmet that's been signed, and they've been selling raffle tickets for Sam Norris. Now, lots of you sat here know that Sam, he had a terrible accident racing speedways, a young youth intermediates rider on the grass, but he had a terrible accident on the speedway. He had a long time in hospital. And our thoughts are always with Sam and his family, but if I can invite James up, I don't know if Rob's around as well.
His family.
And all the family, Rob's coming up as well. So first of all, James, obviously, can you tell us a little bit about this helmet and what the crack is here?
Kindly, this helmet was donated to me by Parallax and Shuey. It's one of their brand new helmets. It's been painted up in my 2019 colours. And we decided to raffle it off for Sam Norris. It was such a tragic accident for himself, and to see him finally on the mend. I believe he's been to watch the Speedway meeting today, so that's absolutely amazing for him. And he's on the road, and to have 151 and Rob Cameron behind me, to long-time sponsor and everything like that, to have him behind me and back this, and everyone's been amazing with donations, and so hopefully we raise plenty of money to help him out.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope so. I mean, Rob, we've obviously. You've been away from Grasstrack and you've moved to road racing and other things, and you've got your own business now. But Grasstrack's a family, isn't it? And when one of us hurts, we all hurt, and we rally around together and help each other.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, it's nice to come back to the grass where we all started off, and when obviously my dad got us into it. So yeah, it's good to be involved and to help Sam out on his road to recovery.
Well, let's hope we do help him out. I'm sure we've raised some money. So these are the winners, are they? These are the prizes. So first prize for the helmet here. James is going to pick out the first prize. And the winner of the helmet is Adrian Worksop. Adrian from Worksop. I did read his phone number. I'm being attacked by wasps as well. Okay, so the second prize is a 151's jacket. And it's a Patsy Martin from Chessington. Not here. And the third prize, 151's compression top and pants. Pants? Alright. Adrian from Worksop won that one as well. So well done. Oh, we're going to put it back in. We didn't see that. We'll cut that one. Oh, okay, so it's Lindsay from Glasgow won the compression top and pants. So well done, Lindsay from Glasgow. But a big well done to James for donating the helmet, and thank you to Rob for doing what you can for Sam. Thank you very much. Well done. Let's give him a round of applause. So thank you everyone for staying around and joining us with this. I think the bar's still open. Bar's still open. Stick around, have a drink with the riders. I'm sure they'll be here for a while as well. It's been a brilliant day. I think the last round of applause has to be once again for this brilliant club for putting on such a tremendous British Masters. Safe journey home, everyone.